Hello from Bali. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about obsession and let's start with the definition.
Maxim, when you pronounce this word in English, it sounds much better than in Russian. Obsession in Russian usually it's mean like something bad, but in English language it's quite often also good. Obsession with your wife or with your husband, obsession with your kids, obsession with your job or with your hobby. Obsession could be also about religion, about rituals, about some spiritual life. But we will think this as a habit of people, which they use when describe something. So sometimes people could not think, could not sleep, they obsession with something. It could be car, it could be another position in the company, it could be political ambitions and something like this.
Well, and if we look at obsessions, probably it might be at least like a two poles or like a two different sides, whether it's like a something good where people really, like really thinking about something, or it might be something bad that really drains the energy. And I do remember one of the things at the goal setting, you tell us that there could be some sort of like a memory or energy leakage where, like you spend a lot of time by being upset with something, but it's not really positive. So if we look at first at this part of the obsession with all of the angles, like how exactly it could derail someone, how exactly it could turn them away from like what truly is constructive.
Let's take very simple examples. For example, you know a boy which is obsession with a girl, and he should, for example, enter university, but without learning tickets for exam, he will just write serenades or singing songs to this girl. Or, for example, girl would be obsession with Chanel bag, and instead of doing some report or maybe some modeling for the company, she will go all the way around the shop and will say, oh, come on, I will do everything you want. There is a story I have seen several weeks ago. It was about boy and girl suddenly moved to the boy, maybe her boyfriend, and show him a picture in the smartphone with the words, I will do everything for this bag. And suddenly her boyfriend said, okay, if you would do everything, then find a job.
Well, I think it's actually quite interesting way to turn the obsession into something. But then if we look into the deep roots of like why people getting connected to something and why they still stay connected, because I do believe there is also one of the biases, it's called like sunk cost. Like when we invest into something so much, it might be like a really hard to get rid of it. Or it might be, like even one or second order thinking when we think, okay, like if we will not be obsessed with this, we actually will face the reality and we might need to find some sort of like a shelter. So down deep, what lies beyond the obsession?
I will give you some examples from my life. I was obsessed with computer. There are no computer in my town. I just read some articles in scientific magazine, and suddenly I realized this is I want to devote all my life. So I was so obsessed with computer. So it was even several quarrels with my parents. They want me to go to be a teacher as my mom, or a military man as my father, and every man in our, I don't know how to say, road.
Dynasty,
Thank you, of our dynasty. But suddenly I switched to computers, and for them it was very hard. And even my father didn't spoke with me for 10 years, for 10 full years. Or for example, right now I am obsessed with School of Troubleshooters. I am not sure if it will give great blossoming flowers, but anyway, I think that maybe some people as you or your schoolmates will grow faster than others, and it would make me happy. Or for example, some of our people, they have something like stable horses and so on, and they also obsessed with these animals. Maybe you obsessed with a kitty, or maybe you obsessed with tankfish, and sometimes it's going so deep that you will use all your free time for something, and yes, it could derail you. It's very well said. Sometimes it will distract. Sometimes it will like shining light into your eyes when you're driving the car. And if everything would be okay, you would go just straight ahead to your goal. But this could distract, and maybe you will make wrong turns, and maybe or even лишние spare turns. I don't know how to say.
Yeah, like redundant or
Redundant,
like extra.
Yes. Extra turns. Yes.
We now will move into the offices areas because in some companies as well, again, it could be happening on a different levels in a different things. People might be obsessed with the business, with the customers, with the idea. So let's say, for example, now we're walking in the business owner shoes, and we do obsess with the ideas, and we also probably may or may not want our employees to be at least obsessed with the success of the business. So how to actually instill this into the culture and whether it's even needed?
It's not easy. I will give you also several examples. I have been working for Alpha Capital investment company in Ukraine, but this company was rooted in Moscow, in Russia, and there were some top managers, and they were wearing just black suit, black ties, and white shirts. And all of us were obliged. It's okay to say obliged, обязаны? Obliged to wear the same. And you know, it was a very funny time, because after we all wear all the suit, maybe after 2 or something like this years, or maybe even months, it was a film movie, Man in Black, and it was a lot of laughing on the market because of our suits. But you know, sometimes it's happened. For example, I was obsessed with also some habits, and all people of mine were equipped with notebooks, but I don't know how to say notebook, this like Moleskine notebook or copybook, I don't know how to say.
Notebook or notepad?
No, notepad. Okay. Yes, thank you. And everyone in the bank from my team were going with this notepad, and they were writing everything. Do not forget. And after several months, I had a feedback from top managers, and they were saying, "Oh, come on, Oleg, your people not just innovative, they also unforgettable." But this is like a play of the words. Unforgettable, this means not like people whom you wouldn't forget ever, but the people, they will write everything down, and they will fulfill all their duties.
Well, yeah, sometimes obsession could lead to good memories as well. And when we speak about obsessing, maybe we'll try to narrow it down, because for example, I work in a product, and in the product management, there is like a constant saying, like, be obsessed with your customers. So like, let's say again, like, we're doing business, but how to actually make, I would say, like, artificial obsession, but like make it real, so that you actually have the empathy, you have the understanding, you have the perspective from someone else, so you get obsessed with them, hence you make your business or make your project successful too.
When I was writing Ultimate Hackers Editor, its name was Head. I was trying to make it without interface, because you know you have a limited amount of symbols in lines and in columns, and I was thinking, oh, I'm so smart, I will save some space from the edges and from the top and the bottom, and you will see much more computer code in my editor. And I was so happy to have this. But suddenly some old people, very famous, like profs and so on, they ask me, come on, okay, maybe you know the short keys, but we don't know. And it was fighting in my heart. You know, I'm not obsessed with client. I am not obsessed with people and with users. You know, I am from very old generations of hackers, and at our beginning, we were thinking that people divided for several layers. First layer, it's lammers, people who do not know anything. And I don't know, by the way, what's the root for lammer? I know this word, I use it, but I don't know exactly the whole meaning.
Because they're lame.
Lame, but lame like lemon or something like this?
Like PT, they're very like it's a very lame situation, жалкий.
Okay. Second, it would be users. You would not do anything useful for users because they just use computer without any proud and without any dignity. They just like take shuffle. I know how to say лопата, shuffle.
Shower, yes.
Shovel. They like take shovel. They just dig something and they don't clean it and put it away, throw it away without any cleaning and so on. And I was just hard fight, and then I surrender and I make this interface. But after, I have another level of obsession, because some people will come to me and say, okay, you have maybe colorful editor as you think, but we used to use another editors like Lexicon, like Writer, Norton editor, multi-editor. Could you please imitate the same colors? And then I was trying to make this. I don't know how to say it in English, but it was not easy at this time. It was a DOS time, not Windows time, and there were a tool especially in Microsoft Office and so on. It's called Pipetka. I know how to say it in English.
Probably Clipper, something like that.
Okay,
like
at
you
this
clip
time,
the sound.
Thank you. At this point, there were no such instrument, so I was trying to put on the screen this color, and I was thinking, is it similar or not? And it was obsession. So I was not liking the idea to imitate other interfaces, but I was obsessed with fidelity, точность.
Or preciseness.
Precisely, accuracy.
Well, and sometimes we also might be surrounded by people who actually obsess with something. Maybe it could be, like obsession of the group or society, or maybe it could be obsession of the time. Like, for example, well, I do remember that once you said, like, in LinkedIn, it's not what you see, but like who you read. And nowadays I see that everyone is saying like AI agent, and previously it was like a blockchain, and maybe a long year back it was like something else. So people seem to be obsessed something, but again, like how to not to deal with what they're obsessed with, but with the people themselves, because like you're not gonna go and prove them wrong. What's the point? Maybe, but at a certain point of time, you also want to prevent them to make maybe not so good decisions.
If you will hear something like blockchain or COVID or something about politics, about war, about artificial intelligence and so on, you should run away from those people. There is a saying, this was translated from French to Russian, and now I know the right translation in Russian, and now I will try to, with your help, to create translation to English. Fashion exists for people who has no style, something like this. Для определенных вкусом. Мода существует для
Style or taste?
Taste, okay. Fashion exists for people who are without style. So the same would be with this obsession. It is even a joke in Russian segment of LinkedIn. Something strange happened with people. First, they were quite good virusologists. Then they switched to blockchain specialist, then they were military observers, and now suddenly everyone was going to be i.e. I forget, evangelist. So if this happen, we will never have virusologist, people who work with NFT and something like this. But there is also a lot of joke of people who just put on yourself like a tag with everything they know, which is new. I am a very old guy comparison to you, and for me it's seventh spring for artificial intelligence. And in the midst of 90, I also was obsessed with artificial intelligence, and this is the theme of my dissertation. But suddenly, after second wave, third wave, I understand that nothing important happens. The same algorithms, yes, we have more data, we have more processing power, but we have too few data to learn for this language large model. Too few, or how to say?
A couple, or yeah, couple would be good.
Couple, yes, we have not enough information to make this system quite clever. So if someone will say, oh, come on, it's new era of something, you could understand that those people are not deep one, and they are obsessed with something they didn't know.
And then my last question will be how knowing about obsession could help to make this world a better place.
It's very strange. All the time of our recording, we were talking like obsession in different way. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But in my heart, I think that maybe it's good when you have obsession with something. I like people who obsessed with accuracy. I like people who obsessed with rules, with process, project, product, and also with modeling. Because sometimes people are smart, but they are lazy. But obsessed people, usually they are hard workers.
And we review the skill of obsession and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.